This video brought to you by our Patreons. Please consider supporting this channel and joining our Patreons at patreon.com/NovaWing24.
Hi there folks, my name's NovaWing24 and welcome to the NovaWrap, your one-stop location for your simulation release news and goings on from the week that was. So here we are on Sunday the 21st of March 2021 for another exciting, action-packed, fun-filled week of releases to go through for the simulation world. So let's jump straight into it for an aircraft that has been a definite favorite and a definite long-awaited release for many of our tube liner flying brethren, and of course that's because we saw this week the release from Aerosoft of their rendition of the CRJ 550 and 700. Now, I almost said Bombardier CRJ 550 700, but it isn't actually Bombardier anymore. It is now Mitsubishi. There's a fun little quirk and sort of side note for everybody. Anyway, moving on. So the CRJ is a stable as a stalwart from the Aerosoft stables, having been released for 32-bit and 64-bit platforms previously in the past. But this isn't just a port over to bring it into the new sim. No, this has been redone from the ground up to actually update the model, take on board some lessons learned from its previous releases, and also, of course, take advantage of all of the things that the latest Microsoft Flight Simulator has to offer. Now, what that's resulted in is an incredibly highly detailed rendition of the Aerosoft, of the CRJ 550 and 700 family of aircraft, including a incredibly highly accurate, detailed 3D model, both internal and external. Include full high-resolution PBR texturing support, both internally and externally. Full VR support for VR aviators as well. Updates and designed to work, and they've actually worked directly with Asobo to actually make sure that to maximize the compatibility with the flight dynamics as well. Includes fluid animations of all moving parts, including landing gear, flaps, and doors. Highly detailed cockpit model with a fully functional interactive cockpit as well, including a full modeling of the extensive flight management system and Honeywell ProLine avionics, including their advisory and coupled vertical navigation systems as well. Comes with an AIRAC of February-March 2021 for those who do like using their charts, and will eventually support updates for Navigraph Data Pro as well. Also includes a full electronic flight display system as well. They do acknowledge that it is partially compatible, and so it is partially operational. There are some improvements they're waiting on that will become available once Microsoft and Asobo have done some further developments into the core sim as well. Also includes a variety of checklists in this as well, both in the internal checklist system as well as also in the electronic flight displays as well. Includes comprehensive manuals, comprehensive custom sound set with the full WWise standards as well, compatible with a variety of hardware options for virtual aviators as well, and a variety of custom tweaking and options to be able to adjust the aircraft to your liking. Overall, this looks absolutely amazing, and I've got to admit that even for me, like, I am not a tube liner flyer of any kind of description, but I've got to admit that the CRJ family of aircraft sort of straddles that line for me, because although I'm not particularly a big fan of your bigger jet engine sort of Greyhounds, I am very much a fan of sort of turboprop regional aircraft, and this kind of straddles that line. So I can't guarantee it, but it is something that does perk my interest. But anyway, so if you all wanted to pick this one up, it is available directly from Aerosoft or from your favorite flight sim retailer, coming in for $51 or your regional equivalent, available now. Continuing on with the releases, this time from developer Perfect Flight, come out with another one of their mission packs with their Eurowings A320 mission pack. Okay, so I have, as long-time viewers of mine will know, I have a love-hate relationship when it comes to Perfect Flight, and this one I am sort of leaning on the not-so-big fan side. So this mission pack, in inverted commas here, gives you 10 flights that are Eurowings destinations. However, they're not really missions per se. They're just flight plans that you're not. Although it does ship with a a Eurowings livery for the Airbus A320neo that ships with the sim. It gives you 10 IFR flights with charts and start points and destinations and weather. You're not actually locked into using the A320. Like, you can use something else. There's nothing that happens in the flight that actually makes it anything other than it's just a flight plan. So I have mixed feelings about this. Maybe it's great. In some ways it's great because then you might be going to places that you may not have thought to fly to yourself. However, at the same time, it's $12 for 10 flights that aren't actually they're just flights. Like, and don't get me wrong, they're good because the way they've done it means that you can fly these in online and multiplayer, so you can share can do flights together. But it is just a flight plan, so I'll let you all decide if it is worth $12. If 10 flight plans on the Eurowings destination charts are worth it for you, so I'll let you decide that. So if you want to pick this one up, it's available for $12 or your original equivalent, available now from Sim Market. Continuing on with MSFS releases this week from the developer stables of Orbix. Saw this week the release of Orid St. Paul the Apostle Airport. It's from Orbix developer Teo Javosky. So this airport is located 9 kilometers northwest from Ohrid and is a very popular summer destination in northern Macedonia. Now, this particular airport is like many of the tourist-style airports that happen of the Mediterranean, including Dubrovnik, Split, Banja Luka, and others. That it is very much a center of travel, but normally only during the summer months. Now, this particular rendition gives us a highly detailed rendition of the airport as it appears at the end of 2020, including all airport buildings, all airport layout, custom and accurate, full PBR support throughout all of the airport buildings, and also the ground textures and ground poly as well. 4K textures are used without, and completely AI compatible, complete with dynamic and emissive lighting, and a custom undulated sloping runway as well. And this one's coming in for a reason for the amount of detail that's in this airport, coming in for $13 or your original equivalent, available now from Orbix. Also, remember that price for some of the airports we're going to look at a little bit later on. All right, moving on to the other airport release from the Orbix stables from developer Pilot Plus this week. This week they released their edition of London Oxford Airport, which is a small business aviation hub, 40 miles northwest of Greater London in the Shire in Oxfordshire. So originally, it was always been a civilian aviation field. Was taken over and used by the Royal Air Force during the Second World War, but as moved on to become a hub of business aviation for going throughout Europe and beyond. Now, this is designed to be used. This is designed and released after the World Update 3 UK, so it is designed to take advantage of all the improvements and updates that came with that World Pack for the sim as well. And this is a highly accurate, very detailed layout rendition of the airport, including 2021 layout as working with airport management. So this is the most up to date that you can get anywhere, which is really, really kind of cool. So all airport buildings have been modelled and have been laid out and with accurate textures, including high resolution textures with full PBR implementation throughout, including not only the buildings but also airside clutter as well. Airport layout include obviously not just the buildings but also the taxiways, runways, and parking bays have also been modelled to reflect how they are in 2021 as well, including a highly detailed tower has also been included as well, and just overall just looking pretty damn awesome. And this one's coming in for a little bit higher price, I think, coming in for $18 or your regional equivalent, available now from Orbix Direct. In another UK airport release this week from developer Burning Blue Design. So this week their release of the birthplace of British aviation, of course, Farnborough Airport in the central United Kingdom. Now, Farnborough for me has a lot of memories for having attended the Farnborough Air Show many moons ago, and of course also being the home of the Royal Aircraft Establishment, created a year after Cody's audacious flight, which was the first flight in the United Kingdom, of course, granting Farnborough the illustrious title of the birthplace of British aviation. The RAE would go on to be founded there, and actually then would go forth and actually help to grow and encourage and grow the British aviation industry to be at one time the greatest and the best in the world. Sadly, those days are far behind us. It would also go on and also be the home to test hundreds of aircraft, including the famous Harrier and Concorde, all took to the skies for the first time from this airfield. Now, of course, this airport and this highly detailed rendition of the airport is as it appears at the end of 2020. Including over 90 custom 3D objects have been created for the area of Farnborough and surrounding area as well. All airport buildings and models have been done with high resolution textures and full PBR texturing as well. Over 10,000 carefully placed stock assets have been used to bring the area to life. So a great combination and reuse of stock assets in appropriate places, as well as combining with custom objects as well. Probably one of the greatest things that I've seen as well is the fact that they've actually brought to life not just the airport, but the other things that make Farnborough so iconic, which includes the wind tunnel project, the International Exhibition and Conference Centre, which of course is very, very important during the air show and the trade shows there as well. The Gloucester E2839 monument to Sir Frank Whittle, the father of the jet engine. The Farnborough Air Services Trust Museum with various aircraft as well. The BAE Services hangar is there as well with various British Aerospace aircraft that they support there as well. The Farnborough Airship hangar frame, which still stands to this day as well, and a variety of pubs and businesses that are just very, very important when you are on the approaches as well. Also, having some parking and start points inside hangars, like that's just... There's so much detail that's gone on here from Burning Blue Design. This add-on is just absolutely stunning. Like, it really is incredible, and I think they've done an incredible job. They really, really have. So I'm excited to see this into the sim. This one's coming now. So it's available now direct from Burning Blue Design, coming in for $24 or original equivalent. Available now. Continuing on with scenery releases for the first release from a new developer on the scene, SC Designs, with their release of their rendition of Blackbush Airport for MSFS. So this airport comes with as a highly accurate rendition of Blackbush Airport. There's not a lot of information about this one though at the moment. It does include custom taxiways, runways, and buildings designed to match the current airport layout. I'm assuming that means end of 2020. Full support for dynamic lighting, full support for PBR texturing as well. With all airport buildings have been modelled based on actual site visits as well, which is always great to see. Fully compatible with AI, taxiways, and all the rest of it, which is looking good. So overall, looking pretty good. I would love to know why the car park is so big there. I don't know. I don't think it's a home for GA Aviation. There's no, from what I could tell from my research, my quick research here, there's no IPT services here. This is more of a GA field and a flight training field. But there's a lot of car parks there for that. But anyway, overall, looking pretty impressive. My only thing is I look at it and I look at the price, and I feel that it is overpriced. I'm just gonna straight up call it. So this is $20. And as I said, it looks really good. Don't get me wrong. Like, the texturing looks really good. The modeling looks really good. Custom models throughout. Fully snow and weather compliant as well. But I just think it's overpriced. Like, it's just and again, it's just, I just think $20 is too much for this particular add-on. I think is my opinion. But otherwise, as I said, looks really good. But it is a very great home for GA aircraft. So your mileage may vary. If you want to pick this one up, you can pick this one up, as I said, for $20 or original equivalent, available directly from Just Flights. Continuing on with scenery releases, this time from a new developer, Gate 15 Scenery, with their release of their rendition of Rishiri Airport. I'm sure I've absolutely butchered the pronunciation of that, of a airport in Japan. So this is a really interesting, actually, point, because this is if I remember correctly, this is, I think, if not the, it's one of the northernmost airports on the Japanese islands, and you can actually see Russian territory from the island. So it is a very interesting airport, and it's also a very popular tourist destination because of the weather and the fact it's a nature reserve nearby as well on the island. So it is an interesting little scenery to go to. It's an interesting little airport, modeled pretty damn well. It looks pretty awesome, but it is a small airport. So yeah, okay, it's looking not bad. It looks like, from what I can tell, it said there's very little in the description. Why the description here, the airport layout looks accurate for the photo reel of the satellite imagery that I compared it to. Building looks like custom modeling of all the airport buildings. Fully compatible with snow and various weather in the Microsoft Flight Simulator Sim, and overall looking not too bad. But I can't. But as I said, there's not a lot going on here with this airport. So coming in for $15 or your original equivalent, if available now from Sim Market. Continuing on with scenery releases, this time moving into Europe and moving into Russia with a release from developer DMD, with the release of their edition of Krasnodar Airport, in just northeast of the village of Enem. I have no idea where that is in Russia, but it is somewhere in Russia. But anyway, so it's a light GA sports airfield used for GA aviation and for parachute jumps for people who are crazy enough to jump out of aeroplanes. Grass strip with a concrete with a hard surface strip as well. This airport looks really, really basic. My concern that I have for this is that there's very little in the way of up close shots. So I can't comment on the quality of the textures and quality of modeling because I can't see it in the promo shots. So I'm really going to have to leave this one really open end. I'll let you guys know about it, but I can't really comment much further than that. $12 or your original equivalent available now from Sim Market. And then the next scenery release from developer DC Scenery Design. They're back again. We haven't seen them for a while, but they're back again. This time they released their rendition of Parmesan's Airfield in Germany. So this is it's a small little GA gliding airfield in Germany. Again, not much there's literally zero description for this. From what I can tell, airport building, airport layout looks accurate. Airport buildings done pretty well. Texturing looks great. Modeling quality looks good. Full PBR throughout, so that's all good. Nice little use of some of the detritus, some of the different things that scatter around the airfield. I said overall looks pretty damn awesome. I got to admit, $12 or original equivalent available now from Sim Market. And rounding out, well, actually not quite rounding out, but so wrapping up most of the sim releases this week. So the MSFS releases for scenery this week from developer Tabaret. So the release of their latest scenery, Zweismann Village Airstrip. Look, at the top level, this release just seems like a lot of Tabaret is generally good for, which is small grass GA strips in the middle of nowhere that nobody will ever model, but will be important to someone, and have done a reasonable job of it. They've got a few custom buildings. They combine it with some static assets. That's fine. Kind of overpriced, like I think most Tabaret stuff is. However, and I'm going to stress this by saying I have no problem, and I think they also do model. The one thing that separates this particular strip though is they've modeled the aeromedical evacuation helicopter base that's located here. They've modeled that really, really well, so that's good. That's perfect. Now, one thing I want to say about this is that I said before, I've said throughout this episode, is that reusing assets is fine. Like whether they be stock default sim assets or reusing assets that developers use with other scenery, we all do it. It's just accept it. We do it. We all do it. Which is fine. There's no problem with that. However, when you release your own publicity shots that show you can't texture your own static model correctly and you've got a registration the wrong way round, that speaks so much to me about your attitude towards the community, and that concerns me. And as I said, like I've been concerned about Tabaret for a while since this new sim has come out. They seem to have spiked their prices, and their quality has not improved. And this really disappoints me. I said I've got no problem reusing assets. That's fine. The why a UK registered Cessna 172 is at a remote remote skiing village in Switzerland, we won't ask. That's the question we won't ask. But the fact that you've got the model done with the textures inversed, it's literally the shot that you submitted to a store page. I have so many questions, Tabaret. What are you doing? Anyway, small thing, as I said, coming in $13 US, or the original equivalent, available now from Sim Markets. Alrighty, okay, so the next few minutes are going to be some blatant self-promotion for me right now. So, yes, so slight conflict of interest here, folks. The next three things that I'm going to talk about are all releases from me. They are my releases under the NovaWrap brand. So I've released 3 new texture sets this week. So two sets for default aircraft, one for a third-party add-on aircraft. So the first 2 sets that I've released are for the Diamond DA62 for Microsoft Flight Simulator that ships with the sim. So these 2 packs are based on actual factory option paint schemes available from Diamond Aircraft. So these are available. So if any of us are ever fortunate enough to actually go to Diamond Aircraft and say we want to buy a Diamond DA62 for real, we will get asked, what color would you like your Diamond aircraft to be painted in? And this is a selection of the paint schemes that you and color themes that you have available to choose from. The first pack that I've released is called the Delight Curved Factory Scheme. So one of the themes is called the Delight series of paint themes or color scheme themes, and one of these is the Curve. Now this is actually what the default one that ships with the sim is based on. It is based on the Delight Curved paint scheme. They got the blue a little wrong, and they didn't get the other colors available. So I've gone through, I've done some research, and I've got the colors available for the curved paint scheme, and I've released those. So there's a red, a gold, a black, and a blue. They've all been released, and then we also have a pack released of another of the Desire factory color theme schemes. So the Desire scheme is the block color. So that is available in 2 different shades of blue. Shades available in red, gold, carbon black, and a bright metallic orange. It also has the Dawn gloss white color theme as included in that pack as well. So for a total of 7 different liveries in that scheme, 4 in the first one in the Delight Curved, and 7 in the Desire factory scheme. Each of these schemes also come with 2 different interior color options as well. The default one that ships with MSFS's DS62, and then there is an option for a carbon black interior as well that I've modeled in selected ones of those. So both of those packs are available for $0. They're available for free. They're a freeware product. Just select $0 for the price on my Gumroad store. Or if you would like to support me and maybe chip in a few dollars to support the work that I do, please feel free to add on, name a fair price of your own choosing. Otherwise, as I said, they are available for $0 or more, available now from my Gumroad store. In the third texture release from me, it comes as an add-on for the DC Designs F15 Eagle pack that was recently released from DC Designs for MSFS. And this is a sort of a bit of a homage to the Ace Combat franchise, specifically Ace Combat Zero, the Balkan War, with a release of the Cypher and Pixie schemes for the F15C Eagle. So as I said, these probably have to be, if not the most iconic livery to come out of the Ace Combat franchise, they've got to be up there in the top 10. So definitely, yes, the solid red wing of Pixie and the blue wingtips and tail of Cypher, definitely you can see them coming. So this one is also available for $0, available from my Gumroad store, or name your own price when checking out. All 3 of these packs, folks, and all of the packs that I released for MSFS all include a self-installation executable. You just need to know the location of your community folder to complete the installation. So there you go. Go forth and grab your free texture sets, or perhaps consider supporting the work that I do. There you go. Okay, self-promotion over. That's fine. Moving on to wrapping up the releases for MSFS this week. And it's actually serves as a perfect gateway into the other sims actually. So we spoke last week about developer NMG Simulations, a South African developer, bringing to life some of the more regional and unusual strips in the African continent. So this week they basically released a slew of stuff. They're really okay, I've got questions about this. Anyway, so what they've done is they've previously released some stuff for Prepared V4, V3, V4. They've basically repackaged all their stuff and are now releasing it across. They're releasing it across FSX, MSFS, Prepared V4 and V5, and X-Plane 11. So they're doing a mass market drop. They're just mass porting everything, their entire library, to all the different platforms. And when they're putting out new stuff, they're releasing to all the platforms simultaneously. So normally, sort of, in one way, I'm glad the developers sort of got the confidence in their quality and well, maybe okay, no, that's the wrong phrase to use. They've got confidence that their tool set allows them to be able to release across different platforms. However, the mileage and the quality is really, I think, suffering. Especially considering that they're charging $12 a pop across each of the platforms. I just feel that that's not right. So probably the best way to look at this is looking at Richards Bay, which is their latest release this week. So previously that had been released for Prepared V4. They've now ported that across, so this is probably the best example of it. It was released for Prepared V4 a few months ago. It's now been re-released now and ported over to MSFS, FSX, and X-Plane 11, and it really doesn't look that good. It really doesn't, and it's $12 a pop for each platform. So you get a couple of bucks off if you owned it for Prepared V4, but yeah, it's just I feel like this is a money grab on some level. I really do, particularly charging $12 for the FSX version. Like, oof, ugh. Yeah. Anyway, so your mileage may vary. There was a stack of other port overs that they did. NMG Simulations did. Not going to go into. Your mileage may vary. Available now from SimMarket. All right, moving out of that, well, as I said, using that as a perfect gateway into the world of X-Plane 11, saw this week from developer V-Sky Labs of the release of their rendition of the Rutan Model 158. Now, if you're scratching your head and going, what's a Rutan Model 158? That's a really good question because there was only ever one of them. So it was a aircraft that was created for Bob Pond, an aviator and inventor, and flown back in at Reno. However, its first appearance at the Reno races in 1991, it didn't go so well. It had a very, very, like many of Rutan's designs, it had some pretty out there designs. Basically, it's two engines with a cockpit in the middle and some stub wings. Like, this thing looks like P-38 on I don't know what. It's all engine. That's definitely sure. Anyway, so yeah, the first appearance that the original aircraft appeared in 91 didn't go so well, dropped out mechanical problems. It then came back 2 years later during qualifying and raced. It was incredibly high performance. However, suffered an engine failure on the course, crashed and killed the pilot. Therefore, after that, the development of this aircraft known as the Pond Racer ceased, and it was then shelved indefinitely. What V-Sky Labs have done is that they've taken the concept of the 158 and they've taken it to a logical next step. So the original aircraft that was flown at Reno was powered by two automobile engines driving propellers at about 1,000 horsepower each. This version that V-Sky Labs have imagined is powered by PT6 turboprops, and it looks batshit crazy and so much fun. Like, it really does. This is, I think, in some ways where flight simulation can really, especially, and I will say this, I think especially X-Plane really can shine, where it takes the idea of going, this is a concept that we can actually explore and see about a what if kind of idea. It looks absolutely amazing. So as I said, this is a this is what the V-Sky Labs call one of their test pilot projects. It is a semi-fictitious aircraft. So they have compared this, with real life performance of the original Model 158, and in conjunction with other pilots and aerospace engineers. And they stressed, although it is a fictional variant, it is not a science fiction project. It is a highly defined concept demonstrator, in the words of V-Sky Labs. And it looks pretty damn awesome. So as I said, the texture looks very high quality. 4K textures used throughout. Full support for a multi-layer FMOD sound pack and full custom simulation of the PT6A28 engines with all its associated systems, full support for VR, and a comprehensive manual with updated updated avionics systems modeled as well. So this thing looks crazy. From my good friend Bill Geode says that it flies like a bat out of hell and is amazing to fly. So I'm very intrigued by it. If you wanted to test this out, and I'll tell you what, I'm sorely tempted to buy it myself as well. Available for $29 US, or your original equivalent. Available now from xplane.org. Moving out of flight simulation world and moving into the world of the permanent way, with a release from this week from Train Simulator for Train Simulator 2021. We need to find a better name. Sometimes they need to find a better thing to call it than just changing the year every year. Anyway, moving on. This week they released their new route add-on of the Birmingham Cross City Line at Lichfield to Bromsgrove and Redditch route. That is one hell of a mouthful, that is. Okay, so this is it's now currently known as the Cross City Line. First opened in the 1800s, then during the, didn't really see a lot of traffic, but during the 1970s, a plan was put in place to revitalize the routes, involved merging a variety of services to form a single through line, reopening and rebuilding a variety of stations to bring it up here where it is. However, it wasn't until the 1990s when the electrification came through and it became an actual proper ability to carry a lot of passengers very effectively across the distances. Now, this particular rendition of the port is as it appears during 2018-2019. Includes a selection of six different scenarios across the 37 miles of Cross City Line from Lichfield Trent Valley to Bromsgrove and Redditch via Birmingham New Street. Includes 25 authentically detailed train stations with dense commuter services linking important interchange hubs and local communities. Includes the famed Lickey Incline, the steepest sustained mainline railway incline in Great Britain, one as to 37.7 for 2 miles. Includes two trains. Includes the British Rail Class 323 electric motive unit and the British Rail Class 350/1, 2 and 3 in London Midland liveries as well, along with a variety of rolling stock included as well. And this pack is coming in for $36 US, or your original equivalent. Available now on Steam. Moving from the permanent way onto the roads and fighting emergencies with the release this week of Emergency Call 112, the Firefighting Simulation 2. So yes, this is a sequel to the original. The original was awful. This one, I'll be honest, I didn't play the original. The reviews say it was awful. Looking at this one, the reviews are saying this one is not much better. Which is interesting that for me, for an outsider looking in, the graphics look kind of okay, look pretty good, but from reading through the reviews, apparently it sounds awful. Now, as I said, just reading from the features and stuff like that, it's an open game world, including working with a team where you work with a team of AI controlled emergency services, where you can sort of hot body and sort of switch to a role of another emergency service worker at various call-out sites, the variety of time at any point in time. Includes a full simulation of 24-hour operations with lineup and vehicle takeover included as well. Challenging fire truck operations with special traffic rights with a diverse series of missions from the areas of save, extinguish, rescue, and protect. Full modding support is also included as well. Includes a variety of vehicles, including command cars, command vehicles, ladder trucks, extinguisher group vehicles, tank fire engines, small emergency vehicles, and ambulances all included. And as I said, a variety of missions as well. Now, as I said, I have not played it. I probably won't play it. The reviews that it's getting at the moment are pretty poor. A lot of people saying that there are a lot of bugs that are there, and some of them holdovers from the last rendition of it. Though they do acknowledge that graphically it does look a lot better. So Buyer beware, it's probably the best way to say that one. Coming in at $30 or your original equivalent, available now on Steam or from Airsoft. And rounding out the NovaWrap this week with a simulation release of a very, very different kind. So this week we saw release into early access an indie title that I've seen on and off lurking around the traps for about 2 years, called Ecosystem. So this to me looks like a modern take on Spore, if I'm honest, but limiting yourself to an ocean. So on the surface, it sort of feels it's basically a bit of a sandbox game where you sort of do it. It's like an evolution selection sort of sandbox game, but there seems to be a lot going on under the hood in here, where it actually talks about sort of AI, like proper AI here, where sort of these basically you have like a bit of ocean, and you sort of lay some plants down, put some plants down, and then you run a time compressed version of evolution where you watch and so you gently guide and shape or just observe evolution as it goes on. There aren't, and it claims that it doesn't use animations for having the creatures move through the ocean. It actually just lets them actually use the actual physics of moving through fluids and fluid dynamics and muscle movement, stuff like that. So it claims a lot. I'm curious to see how well it delivers, if you're interested. So if you want to pick this one up, you can give this one a try, coming in at $20 or your original equivalent, available now on Steam. And with that, folks, that now wraps up the NovaWrap for this week. Thank you very much for joining me. Don't forget, as always, to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed these videos and want to see more. But before we go, I do want to let folks know that there will be no NovaWrap next week. So I am taking a week off. I have to go interstate for some medical appointments and medical visits, so I will be out of the loop for at least a week. So you don't get to hear the dulcet tones of my voice next week. So hopefully you can all survive with that. Anyway, I won't. So that will also mean that I won't be on Twitch. I'll be on Twitch on this Tuesday, but after that I will be off for a week. So hopefully I will see you back the following Saturday. Alright folks, as I said, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget as always to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy these videos and want to see more. And of course, as always, you can catch up with me on all the things I'm up to between videos by finding me on Facebook and on Twitter and on Twitch. Just search NovaWrap24. Alright folks, thanks very much for watching. Take care, safe skies to all, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.